Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6:30 on Saturday the 9th of May. Just on my way down to the land, and even at this early hour the sun is already up and it looks like it's going to be another scorchingly hot day. As always, be making it up as we go along today, so I'm not quite sure what we'll get done, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land, and it's already getting quite warm. That sun is really bright. Beautiful day. One thing I forgot to show you yesterday in my haste to leave, I was having a bit of an experiment talking about the pond down in this bottom corner of the field. Talked about it a couple of times in previous videos, because this does have settled water when we get rain. And I don't know if you can see the little white line, but I was having a bit of an experiment yesterday in marking out where the pond can go. Still not finally decided, but that's the general gist. So tucked away down in this bottom corner. I guess we'll find out in future videos. Anyway, let's go and get opened up and see what today brings. Well, first things first, let's take a little peek inside the polytunnel, see how everything's doing. Pumpkin and squash going crazy, absolutely crazy. Really pleased with the way that they've suddenly come out. Everything else is pretty much as it was before, except there's one new little pea there, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there. Still 2 in that one. And we seem to be having a sudden spurt of life in this as well. There's 2 now coming through there. Cucumbers looking lovely. And then we've just got the little tomatoes all on their own down here. I'll probably shuffle them across to join the others. Carrot seeds still waiting to come through. In fact, hang on, I do believe there's one there, look, just peeking. So that's the first one coming through of those carrots. We didn't get a frost last night, thankfully. Potatoes looking a bit perkier this morning. Dirty from where I threw loads of compost on them, but thankfully they're okay. Raised beds, everything's looking nice in there, in that first bed. Very strong now, those plants. Second bed that I put in yesterday, they're all standing up, so that's good. And then the last bed, again, everything seems to be holding up very, very well. Excellent. So, looks like it's going to be another hot day. Sun's already out across the top of the field. Could be another scorching day. And with all this sunshine, it's a shame for it to go to waste. So one of the main and probably time consuming projects this morning is to finish off the solar panel install. So I'll keep you posted with progress as we go through the day. But it is looking to be a very nice and very warm day. Well, we're in the workbench cabinet where I've got my batteries and all of the electrical cabling for the various lights and power outlets, etc. all feed into here. So today it's going to be a bit of a fiddly job and not going to be a quick job for sure. I'm going to start mounting the batteries and all of the junction boxes and fuses for the 12 volt supply. So it's going to be difficult working under here to take videos, so I'll just do little updates as and when I get stuff installed. But for now, first thing I guess is to get a suitable flooring space, because those batteries are heavy and I want them off the floor with a bit of insulation underneath, just to stop them getting cold from the floor. This wall also is, there's no insulation in this wall, so I might need to think about how I can insulate that a little bit as well. Batteries don't like it when they're cold. Well, the cabinet's slowly coming along. I've partitioned it off now into two, so I've got a nice internal wall there, and in the side where the batteries are going to go, it's walled all the way around, sides and back, and the floor as well. So that should be nicely insulated now for the batteries. It also just keeps all the electric stuff in one place. I might stick a shelf in the future. I'll just wait and see how I get on installing the batteries and how much space I've got left. Well, it was a bit fiddly and a bit time consuming, I have to say. It's gone 11 o'clock already and I don't feel like I've been here 5 minutes. Anyway, let's keep cracking on. Still busy with this cabinet. There's always something else you think of, and that's mains 220 power. So I've just run a cable behind the wall cladding, just busy installing the socket and mounting box. So that cable now comes out inside the cabinet with all the others. It's this far one, and that will go into a junction box and then into an inverter running off the batteries, taking the 12 volt to 220 volt, just in case I need any mains appliances. Well, it's 2 o'clock already. I can't believe the day is just flying by. Busy just double checking all the wiring to make sure that it does go where I think it does go. Fitted the 220 volt mains power supply. It'll go to the inverter. I have to confess, I did make a schoolboy error. So I've had to take a panel off here inside. I'm just ready to put it back on now so that I could get an extra cable fed behind there. When I was testing all of the lighting, I realised that I'd put all the cabin lights, which are the ones that are above the kitchen sink and above the workbench, etc. But I hadn't incorporated a switch. I had for the original cabin lights, the external lights, the pump, but for some reason, schoolboy error, I just didn't incorporate a switch. I have now done that, so I've got a switch now for the cabin extension lighting. So that's taken an awful lot longer than I thought it was going to do, but better to be sure. When it comes down to the electrics, you want to make sure that when you flick the switch, the correct item goes on, and you want to make sure that there are no breaks in the circuit anywhere. So whilst I've wasted quite a bit of time with that switch, it is worthwhile. I'm just test fitting the batteries to see where's the best position for them to go. I've just been cleaning off these terminals. I've got a rather Gucci little terminal cleaning brush. I've also invested in some of these three-way battery terminal clamps. Much easier to individually connect to these prefixed bolts rather than, as you see some people do, try and fasten everything onto the battery clamp nut itself. Day is just whizzing by. This is taking far longer than I thought, and I haven't even watered in the polytunnel yet, so I'm going to have to call it a day at some point and go and water my plants. But there's always tomorrow, so I'm not in a big panic. I'd rather get it right than rush it and get it wrong. Just a little quick update on this. I've decided where the batteries are going. They're going central in the cabinet, pushed back against the back wall. you'll see that I've got the two batteries joined together with these battery cables. The positive to the positive, negative to the negative, that's called a parallel connection. The objective there is to keep the voltage going out at 12 volts, but to double the amperage of the batteries. So instead of 110 amp, which these batteries are, you actually get 220 by joining them together. Just a way of giving you a bit more power duration. You can connect more than two batteries, but I only have the two. The others are at home and I don't want to move them in case I get a power cut at home. So first things first, connecting the batteries together, and then we'll add on to the batteries with the load coming in from the solar panels, and obviously the power going out to the internal cabin wiring system, and of course the inverter. Well, the first junction box is in. I've got the power into that box, so I can take a feed now from there whenever I want. So I just need to figure out how many more junction boxes I need. I've got these three-way junction boxes, two of them to go on the board. So I'll take a feed out of that main box into those two sub junction boxes. Then all of these cables will feed into those, apart from the inverter and the solar power in feed. Inverter, I haven't quite made my mind up. I'm guessing it's going to go on this side wall somewhere on here, but I'll figure that out later. It's 3 o'clock already and I need to get the plants watered in the polytunnel, so I think this is just about as far as we're going to get with the solar today. I'm just in the polytunnel giving the plants a water. I can't believe where the day's gone today. Time has just flown by. Been messing about with that solar pretty much all day, but hey, at least we are making progress bit by bit. We've now got 5 peas in that pot, which is one of the new ones. This one still only seems to have 2 in so far, which is a bit disappointing, but hey, it is what it is. That other pea, the original one, that's going crazy now. It's found its way onto that netting and is just going for it big style. But he better hurry up because he's got some friends in the pot. He's got that second one from last week, and there's 2 new ones just peeking through there. So I'm going to carry on watering these, and I'll catch up with you when I do the outside beds. Well, that's the raised beds watered. They were ready for it as well. It's been blistering hot again today. It is forecast not to be though for the rest of the week, which is typical. The second bed equally. I think maybe because it's fresh compost and there was no moisture in it, these did suffer a little bit. They were starting to wilt, but clearly they're perking back up now, and they've had a good drink of water, so they can soak that up over the next few hours and overnight. Last raised bed with the pots, it's half full already. I do need to cramp them in, I think, a little bit tighter together because I'm going to have loads more to go in there. Carrots are looking very well now. I'm just itching for the ones that I planted earlier on to start showing through. Anyway, it's time I got myself sorted out and packed up. Time is passing by. It's almost dinner time, so I do need to get off. I'll just get closed up. Well, that's the cabin locked up. Shame I didn't get that solar finished, but I'd rather do it properly than rush it and get it wrong. Can't believe this weather today, absolutely scorching. I am feeling the sun, been in that cabin all day again. Polytunnel's locked up, well watered, raised bed, I've got raised bed on the mind. wood pile is all packed away, so it's time to get myself headed off home. I am desperately in need of a shower and a drink and something to eat.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Very slow progress today. I was a bit disappointed that I didn't get the solar finished, but I certainly will tomorrow. There's always a little challenge crops up from time to time to slow you down, and that's what happened today. Let me know how you think it's going in the comment section below, but for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.